Hello grade 3s, this is week 8 art activity. This is the last activity you do at home and next week you're back to school. I'm very excited to see you next week at school. You're going to learn about Keith Haring this week. Today we're going to look at Keith Haring, the American modern artist. He is known as his bold graphic style of art. He was born in a small town in Pennsylvania in America in 1958. He loved Dr. Seuss and Walt Disney and learned basic cartooning from both current culture and his father. His father taught him how to draw to start with. Keith Haring devoted much of his time producing art to promote cultural messages. He is considered one of the most important artists of our generation. I wonder if you have seen some of his artwork in somewhere. I remember his artwork was on one of Coca-Cola labels some time ago. Do you recognize some of his work? Let's look at what materials you're going to need for this activity. You need some color paper. I used 5 pieces of A4 color paper, but if you don't have them, you can use any color paper or even white paper. You can color them in later, or you can use wrapping paper if you have any leftovers, or some papers, leftover papers from Papel Picado, the last week activity, if you have any. If you want to use white paper for the background, you can. I use the red piece of paper for the background. It's up to you, but you will need a black marker because Keith Haring, he uses black marker for his artwork. You also need a pair of scissors and a glue stick. Okay, for this activity, you need some colored paper. I've got 5 pieces of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to use red piece of paper as a background, and I'm going to use an orange as maybe some decoration for the background, and then I use 3 colors for the figures. Now, so this is the size. I've got A4 size, so the A4 needs to be the background, so the figures need to be smaller than A4. So I'm going to fold this paper into 4. So this is the quarter, and then each figure is going to be the size of this quarter size. Okay, I cut the color paper into 4, a quarter size, and then I'm going to draw a figure on each color. Use the chart on the screen, and then we're going to draw a figure on each paper. Make sure you use the black marker because that's the style Keith Haring does. Okay, let's try. Okay, now we're going to cut them out. Now remember, Keith Haring artwork always have a black outline, so try to leave the black line with the figure. So I'm going to cut this just outside of the lines I drew. Remember, you are moving the wrist of the side that you're holding your paper, not the side you're holding the scissors. Move on to do the background. I'm going to use this red piece of paper, A4 paper for the background. If you don't have A4 paper, you can use any color paper, like a wrapping paper or anything you have at home. Then I'm going to use this orange piece of paper for the ground. So I want to stick this down the bottom of the red paper. So I'm going to cut this. It doesn't have to be exactly the straight because that gives a little bit personality to this artwork that you're making. So I'm going to stick it here. Before I stick it, I just place all the pieces I've got so that I know it's working. So I'm gonna have this yellow figure in the middle, maybe on here, and then this guy green one here, and then the blue guy here. That seems like working, so I'm gonna glue them all. Make sure you put glue on something. You need to have a newspaper or some scrap paper underneath so that you don't get a sticky table. I don't think your parents would like that if you make the table sticky. Now I'm adding some movement lines to these figures. So I add some lines like this. Maybe some lines on here around his bottom and his head. And he's dancing obviously, so I'm gonna add some lines like this so that it gives a rhythm to his art. Doesn't it? And then I'm going to add a little bit more details to this floor. Add some lines so that it looks like a floor. Just dashes.